Hi, my name's Katie. Welcome to Homo Librariensis. So I'm actually going to do my very first book haul today. Also I have been gone for a while, mostly because I just can't seem to find the time to film. And yeah, so I've been gone, but I'm still really wanting to do this, especially because I really want to do a buddy read when I finally have time. So if there's anyone who wants to do a buddy read or you see anything, you probably won't see anything on this. This book haul isn't really buddy read material, but maybe. So, and I cut my hair. Can't see it because I look a bit like a floating head in front of this really dark couch. And I put a dark sweater on because I didn't feel like putting on a bra. So, you win some, you lose some. But anyway, so I have my first book haul, and I thought for sure I will never have a book haul because I don't really buy very many books. And I don't even ask for that many books because I just don't have the space for it. And I'm cheap. But our library has library book sales, and you can usually get paperbacks for $1 and hardbacks for $2. And maybe a box of books for a certain amount. But anyway, I wasn't even meaning to go. We met up with a friend at the farmer's market, and they were like, I just got a bunch of comics at the library book sale just around the corner. And I was like, well, we have to go. So we headed over. And I only picked up a couple, and I tend to get nonfiction at library book hauls because then I can kind of flip through them, and if I miss something, go back and read them again. I'm more likely to get novels at the library. So these are the books that I have. Not in any particular order. But, okay, so this is the first one. This is the one I've started on. It's called Lingo, or Lingo Fun Times, by Gaston Doran. And it's lingo around Europe in 60 languages. So this checks a lot of boxes for me. It's not as much a narrative as some of my other favorite linguistic books, but it kind of just breaks down individual little stories and facts about 60 different languages in Europe, and some of them are very common languages, and some of them are sort of lesser known languages with very few speakers. I'm trying to think of a good example. Like, one talks about how Luxembourgish or Luxembourgese became a language. One talked about how reliant French is on Latin, and sort of the taking its spelling system from Latin, and that's why it kind of came up, why it has all of those letters that are not pronounced. And so it was actually because they took a lot of their spelling from Latin, but then used it for anyway. Yes. So the spelling system is related more to Latin than to actual French, something like that. So yes, it's not by any means, it is not the best book ever. It's not particularly well written, but it is fairly fascinating if you like languages, like to learn interesting facts about languages. So there's that one. The next one I picked up was Homophobia, A History by Bern Phone. I feel like I got that wrong. Yeah, it's a pretty thick one. And I just figured I wouldn't get this out of the library. Probably it would take me a long time to get through, and I want a chance to really sit down, and I want it to be something I can just kind of flip through. So it's a history of homophobia, apparently. Anyway, even if I don't like it, it was $1. The next one I got is called 100 Crushes by Alicia Lim. I've never read it. I have no idea what it's about, but it's just sort of this collection of little stories and drawings of people, and I think it's so the art's kind of cool. I think it's just little bios or write-ups about queers. It's just 100 different queers. So at the back it says 5 years of queer comics, but they seem to be very individual. And it says butches, sissies, dandies, and convent girls. Alicia Lim adores queers in every town and celebrates them with tributes, interviews, and memoirs. So, a whole bunch of queers. I want to read that. The next one I have is Stitched Up, the Anti-Capitalist Book of Fashion, by Tansy E. Hoskins. I don't know really what it's about. and I'm not even sure when it was published. Oh, not that long ago, 2014. I'm hoping it can just give me a couple of tips on companies that maybe are better known for better labor practices, better environmental practices. So we'll see. I do always find it a hard balance between trying to find clothes. There's not a lot of clothes made locally here, or very few, and most of them are not work appropriate. So, or at least for not where I work. So, I've been trying to buy more responsibly, but I could be doing a better job. So I thought I'd pick that up. And then the last one I got was Paul Theroux, The Happy Isles of Oceania. I don't actually know how to pronounce that. Sorry, someone correct me. Paddling the Pacific. So I've read one other Paul Theroux, Dark Star Safari, and that was his train trip, I believe train trip through Africa, or one of his train trips through Africa. It's okay. I mean, his writing style isn't anything special in my opinion, or at least it wasn't that time, but he has gone on some incredible adventures, and I know almost nothing about most of the islands in Oceania. So clearly. So I thought that would be kind of cool to flip through and learn a little bit more about all of these different places that there just isn't always a lot of information out there about. Okay, so those are my books, and so I won't go into detail too much about these other ones, but my partner went with me, and she's a chef, so she's always picking up food books. And we found actually quite a few really cool food books. So the first one is What Our Ancestors Ate and Why It Matters Today, 100 Million Years of Food. So I was a little, by Stephen Lee. I wasn't sure if this would be more paleo or whatever, which I'm not particularly into, but just for me. But it seems like it's just kind of a good overview of, I don't know, the science behind figuring out what people ate back in the day. The next one she found was this great kind of 60s, 70s essays on sex equality. No idea. It's kind of hilarious. The cover's amazing. It was $1. We'll try it. She's also Italian heritage. Her family is. So, and spends a lot of time in Sicily. So we picked this one up. Beppe Severnini, La Bella Figura, a field guide to the Italian mind. So maybe we'll learn something before we go there next year. Not sure. You've probably heard of this one, Animal Vegetable Miracle, A Year of Food Life by Barbara Kingsolver. So that's a pretty good find for $1. It's in pretty good condition. And it's really heavy actually, so it's probably quite dense. I think it'll be a good one to have around. We also found Sweetness and Light, The Mysterious History of the Honeybee. So bees are big right now. Let's help bees. So we'll learn a lot about bees. If you like food, that's very dependent on bees. Another one is, To the People, Food is Heaven. Can't really see it because of the library stickers. I know there's a lot of booktubers who would not really want editions like this, but it's okay. It doesn't really bother me that much. So Stories of Food and Life in a Changing China. So it's just a bunch of different stories about food culture in China, which is really cool. And then the last one is she found an Alice Waters, The Heart of Simple Food. So that's it. That's like I think that was under $10 for all of those books, or another $5 for mine. So I love these books, library book sales. The worst part is though, you have to kind of, if you really want good stuff, you have to kind of commit, because they have all these boxes of books sitting around, and you can't go through them, and they're just kind of always, putting more books out as the day goes on. They're putting more books out. The day goes on, more books. So anyway, so you never know what's going to be there, so it might be worthwhile to kind of spend an hour or so just sort of sitting there, have a coffee, watch for more books coming out in the category that you like, and then kind of tootle around again. So definitely you can just show up and stay for 10 minutes, but it's worthwhile like waiting and kind of watching for what they put out. So that is a book haul, which is my very first book haul, unless it is not my first book haul, and then I lied. I can't remember, but I'm pretty sure it's my first one. So thanks for checking this out. If anything interests you, if you've read any of these, I'd love to hear it. Or if you found really good books at a library book sale, let me know. And yeah, I'll see you next time. Thanks for stopping by.